entertained by that chiropractic video. I have a longer version of this video, and I did a Facebook add-on. If you guys already looked at Facebook ads before, I had like 30,000 views within 3 or 4 weeks or so, just locally around here, which is a small town area. So a lot of it is, that's when people come in, and so I saw your video on YouTube. I want to get that done. I'm like, great, you know what it's for? I'm like, I don't care. But what it does is, it makes your back and your spine, makes your nerves, everything in your body relax. Okay, do we stay healthier in a relaxed state? Probably, right? Does our mind function better in a relaxed state? Yes. Okay. The problem is, since we're born, we have things that affect us that make our body go from a relaxed state to a stress state, which is okay. That's part of being in school, studying hard, working hard, having a family, driving in traffic every day, as we all do. Okay? But how do we make our body healthier so we can stay in that stress state and still tolerate that? Our body doesn't break down. The problem is, we'll go through some of this in a second. The problem is, when we don't keep our body healthy, and this is what I deal with my patients every day, our body can't handle the stress state, so we have chest pain, we have headaches, we don't sleep very well, we feel nauseous, our body hurts. I had someone call me this morning at the gym, he's having arm pain, arm numbness, arm weakness. So our body will suffer unless we understand how to keep it healthy. So what I do is get people to understand from a structural perspective, by their spine, can I help them become more relaxed, and then give them things to do outside the office and tools to get themselves healthy through stretching, through exercising, maybe meditation or sleeping in proper position, even sitting in a chair properly too. Okay? So making sure we're doing things properly throughout the day, so we can do this and sit here and learn. Go to your classroom, sit there and learn, and the result of having better grades without breaking yourself down where you beat yourself up all the time. The reason people drop out of college the first semester is the highest rate, because they don't come in ready. They don't come in ready with discipline, maturity, and the workload that may have been easier in high school for them. So if you're in a healthier state, mentally and physically, which is connected completely, at that point you can tolerate more stress and not break down and not quit. Okay? You doing okay? Good. Okay, so we're at this up here. This is my topic. Caring more in healthcare and business. Guide to benefit students, professionals, and patients and clients. Move it up a little bit. What does care mean? Right? Okay. Move up just a little bit more. There you go. A couple things it means. I'm not a dictionary or Webster, whatever it is. It's not my job. I look stuff on the internet like you guys do. Google, whatever it is. Yep, or whatever else. Yahoo. Caring means verb form. Paying attention, tending, watching, being intended, considering, foster, mindful, minister, something, I don't know. Mothering, nursing. Who wants to be a nurse here? Fantastic. Nursing is the #1 profession growing that was 2 years ago, so that next 8 years. #1 profession growing, so you'll do great, not a problem, easy. Nurturing, protect, sit, treasure, babysit. Babysit, I don't know about that. Keep an eye on it, all these little phrases, keep tabs on, looking after, provide for, mind the store. Ride head on. Take pains. Sometimes things are painful, but you have to care for them either way. It's like kids. You have kids. I have kids. I have 4 or 5 kids as far as I know. So, going down. This is what I do when I do my workshops the last 3 years, teaching in high schools, ROP programs, to seniors, to adults, different classes too, is how do we change our mindset if we're in school now, if we're out of school, or if we're a little bit older, to, as our saying is here, was it grow, connect, and lead? Is that the saying for this year? For the slogan? I think it is, grow, connect, lead, or something like that, right? Okay, looked it up last night. So how do we use that wherever we are in our age, in our education, to make that work with somebody else with us? Okay? Part of it is here, this is what I learned, a great book. If you want to take a picture of it with your phone, your camera, whatever you want to use. This is a great book, and it's even better audiobook. Why audiobook? Listen to it in the car, at home when you're sleeping. What's it called when you're sleeping and you listen to something? What's it called? When you're sleeping and you absorb the material? Some big word, I don't know what it is. Okay. So it's like a 7-8 hour book, I think. Audiobook. But listening to it gives you ideas how to connect with other people to grow your knowledge, because they've already done it. If someone's been, for example, a cardiologist, wouldn't you want them to go, wouldn't you want to go and learn what they learned to make your life easier, to not reinvent the wheel? If you're going to a school, hey, I'm going to school, what teachers should I take? Which are the easier teachers, which I did in high school? If I'm going to work here, how do I know people's personalities? How do I connect with them so I can learn faster or help as much as I can? Okay? So part of what I use this book for is I use that to learn how to connect to people. It's called, you guys know what a mastermind group is? Anybody? Okay. That's when you connect. It's called, there's a group in Rancho Cucamonga, Dr. Bob Optometrist puts on every other Thursday, where we meet together, and the mindset is how do we help each other as a business owners grow to become better at what we do. Okay, I may be great at chiropractor, but I may do some social media stuff, like that video I put everywhere. Okay, so I may help someone go, hey look, I'm a dentist, how do I do that? I met someone yesterday who actually, Dr. Jason, he's a dentist, has a practice in Fontana, he bought a practice in Upland. He goes, how do I market that practice better? So I'm not a dentist, I don't know what, I'd probably be a dentist, I'm like, teeth are not for me. I don't want to get in someone's mouth, it's gross for me. Okay, so how do I work with that and go, how do I help him with what I know, and vice versa? You know things I don't know. The guy that you saw in the video, the comedian guy lying down, and he said it was scary. I met him 2 weeks before, actually a week before, and said, hey look, he does photography, and videography said, hey, you want to, he was curious how the adjustment works. I'm like, come in and I'll show you. He shot the video for me. He used the microphone. He did a professional aspect of it to be connected that way. Using this book allowed me to do that, to learn how to do that, and understand what people do, and use that for my benefit, and vice versa. I try to give as much as I try to give more than I actually get back from other people. Scroll down more. That's one of my learning tools that I've used for a long, 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 long time. This is the first book that I used when I was in school. I think it was in chiropractic school or undergraduate, chiropractic school. I listened to this to find my first job before I graduated from chiropractic school, or if you're going to school now, nursing school, for example. How do you find a job before you actually finish school? Okay, it's one of those things to where we don't think of, because we're in this little funnel of how do I get through this tunnel? How do I get my certification? How do I pass my classes? If you think ahead, at that point, when you get out, you have a job waiting for you. Okay, my secret, and don't tell anyone because it's a secret, even though they'll know in a minute, is, is a lot of it is, after my first, chiropractic school is about 10 semesters. After reading this book, I said, what am I going to do to get a job now before I graduate, get the experience, internships, the volunteer hours, get the credibility in there? I went to my school's alumni directory, and they had printouts back then, and I took the printout and said, okay, these are people in my area. I live in Upland. Practice in Upland, so I lived in Upland when I was in school too, so I've never really left there, even though I grew up from West LA. A lot of it was, how do I find this directory in my area, find doctors I may want to work with now, because I have 9 semesters left, so that's like 9 times 10, which is, what is it? What's 9 times 10? 90, right? 90 weeks left till I graduate. I got to worry about it. For me, I got to worry about it now, not wait till week 9 and go, okay, now what am I going to do? So I went to that directory. There's a thing before called, it's been a few years since I had them out, it's called Yellow Pages. It's a big book, right? Have you ever seen that before? Kind of read something in history magazines. I use that to go, okay, how do I take this book, take this directory list of doctors in the area, chiropractors, how do I match them up to what I want to see? Back then there was no Google, there was no Yelp, there was no websites, there might have been internet, but it was just basic emails and maybe things here and there. A lot of it was, I took whatever, in Yellow Pages, basically whoever paid the most got the first in that category, got the first page in that category. Chiropractors, first ad is usually sometimes $1,000 per month for those ads. It's crazy. So at that point I went, okay, who has the best ad? What list, how does this match up? And I called about 10 doctors in my area. About probably 4 or 5 answered. Okay, and said, hey, look, come on in, go kick chat, whatever it was. 2 of them are like, I don't like how they practice, not what I'd want to do. 3 of them are like, okay. And after about probably 2 weeks, said, maybe 2 of them. Okay, so if you call someone, if you want to be a nurse in private practice, and went, okay, I'm going to call 10 different offices in the area, and if only 6 or 7 said, come on in, let's give you a quick interview, would you be discouraged? Some people would, okay? If you went in there and said only about 2 or 3 said, you know what, let's come back and kind of see what we can do. And most people would say, like, you know what, I must be a loser or something, okay? Part of it is when you're doing things like that, you have to realize it's a high percentage of no's to get the yes. So you have to go for more, it's called going for the no's, N-O-S, not K-N-O-S, going for the no's to get more yeses. So if you're going to get, say, 2 out of 10 you may want to work with, at that point, it's good to get 20 phone calls or visits, whatever it is, to get 4. And what do you do with 30? With 30 be? Like 6, right? I'm not a mathematician, but that's like simple math. So after working these 2, I started working with one specifically. By the time I graduated, I was working in the office and getting my license too. So at that point, I was working in there making 30, 40 grand a year. My classmates were just barely looking for jobs. So they're wasting sometimes months. One girl, she was really nice, but just had problems passing the boards and no one where she worked. She took her a year to find a job. One girl had called a lady where she had some pictures of Pittsburgh. Yeah, her and her husband from Pittsburgh. Called and said, hey, they want to work for me. And she said, great, no problem. Miscommunication, she went out there right after school, turned out other offers too. Have you here to work? She says, well, I just want to interview. I don't want to hire you yet. Ended up not working out, so she had no job lined up either. So if you can plan ahead using books like these, this is an audio book. And I don't know if you remember the audio cassettes. We had these cassettes things I used when I was in school. That was on the way to school, on the way back. It's a great way to look like books like these, or even look at Amazon. For you guys, younger generation somewhat, at that point, go to Amazon, go to Hardin McKay, Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty, and he'll give you recommendations based on his book. Okay, analytics, the algorithm is great on Amazon. Other recommendations of current books based on what he's read, or what his topic is, and what his category is. So look at your information, learn. If anything, what I did try to do is educate myself while I was still learning, or vice versa. So I was always in school, but how do you learn outside of school to make sure you're ready for after school? That's not too confusing. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Next. Oh, this is my last recommendation, or is there one more? Oh man, another book. Dang it. Okay, last book, I promise. Okay, this book allows you to connect with people. Okay, connect is another word like the previous book said too. Network. Understanding that it's about the other person, not about you. When I go to chamber events, when I go to talks, when I do other stuff with doctors or go to hospitals and talk about this or that, or I have a patient who has hip injuries and they need hip therapy, talk to nurses and doctors, a lot is how do I help them first for them to help me down the line maybe if I need them. Okay? So I want to make sure I know their name and I can shake their hand, look them in the eye. Okay? When you meet someone and you're in a crowd, I say at lunchtime, for example, and someone says your name, do you naturally just perk up and go, are they asking about me? It's a natural, common human response. When you know someone's name, they've already known that, they already put you at a higher bracket versus the hey you, or buddy, or bro, or whatever, or sister, or whatever. Okay? So knowing someone's name, especially someone you want to get to know, allows you to get some credibility with them. Just a little thing. Any questions about that? Little stuff, people. Again, putting the care gap back in healthcare, going back to that, I know about 99% of my patients' first names. Sometimes your last name, but I see about probably 80 people a day on our busy days. That's 6 or 7 hours, and about probably 40 people on our half days, which is about 4 hours. So I run a busy practice. We go. Okay, my staff knows that too. When they walk in the door, hey Johnny, how's it going? How's your son's graduation? Blah, blah, blah. Keep it all in my head. But it's a training process. When you do that, you're building trust with them when they know that you care. So it's a good thing to do to make your life easy. If you're going to be a cardiologist, a nurse, a doctor, someone in the healthcare field, or give someone a recommendation about anything, do you want them to trust you first? Is that a good idea? And by doing little things like this, it gets you that little in with that person. Hey, if they know my name, if they know what's going on in my family, if they know what I'm doing, at that point they take it personal, which they should, and we should too. At that point, they can understand your recommendation can be for their benefit, not just for me or somebody else. Okay? Have a sense of urgency. I talked about it earlier. I worried about getting a job after school before I even graduated. What do you want to do next? If you want to go to nursing school, at that point, where do you want to work afterwards? Where can you volunteer now, get your foot in the doors? By the time you graduate, they remember who you are, they know your name, you know their name. At that point, you walk the door, I'm going to graduate in 6 months. Do you have any openings? We don't, but someone down the street does, and you have a recommendation for them. If you walk in and go, I'm Johnny Seville, I don't know where Seville came from, but wherever you are, here's my resume, they go, oh thanks, appreciate it. And you walk out. When you're a volunteer, it helps you build that rapport before you need to cash that back in. Okay? So this is what I worry about a lot with students. I do a lot of up in high school chafing, all the ROP workshops, is how do I give them sense of urgency now to look for the next step, maybe schooling or work, and or where are your grades, do they match what you want to get into? Can your grades, because they're a reflection of how well you want to score, maybe MCAT or something like that, or a nursing test, can you keep your grades up to get into and maintain a high GPA in a school, if that's what we want to do, and graduate and get your certifications and start working right away? Okay, the biggest thing again is the dropout rate in the first semester is huge because people aren't ready for that. Okay? And begin better habits. If you're going to a classroom and going, I'm going to have to study my tail off, and it's at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're not a morning person, should you get up at 8 o'clock? Should you get up at 7:30? Should you get 6:35? If you know 2 weeks from now you're going to start a class at 8 o'clock, and you'll be getting up at 12 o'clock every day, what time you should get up? Okay? Get the habits going now. Prepare yourself to succeed. If we're going to succeed and be ready for what's the next step, make sure we have the good habits to do that. Do we study well? Do I have good study habits? Do I learn well? Can I learn a better way to learn? At that point, when I have, instead of 2 science classes, 8 science classes, and a lab, and a lab, and a lab, at that point, I'm in class 8 hours a day. Can I handle that load and learn well enough of what I'm doing now? Again, that's why people drop out the first semester. They're ready for that. What can you learn from people that have done it before, previous classmates, someone who's taken that before, and understand, how do I not reinvent the wheel? Because people are willing to teach you all day long. People are willing to be your mentors, for example, all day long. Just got to ask. That's the key. Okay? Scroll up a little bit higher, too. Or a little bit that way. And then, a lot of this here, too, is, what does that say? Pay attention. It's something to where, this is more for someone in my field or whatever it is, to once you graduate, once you're down the line, once you've kind of done stuff, this is fun here, right? So almost you show up, get some work done, learn something, and it's good for most people. Most of the seminars that what I do are paying anywhere from $300 to $500, $1,000 to go to that seminar. If you're going to pay for something, do you value that more? And the answer is yes, we do. Okay, if I'm going to earn money and pay for it, I'm going to go, I better get something out of that. A lot of it is when we go to school, especially high school, even college sometimes, you don't have that overall value yet. So when I do something outside my practice, it better be worth it to me, or I'm going to be very upset if I'm going to pay $1,000 for a class or a seminar, not get out. So I'm going to spend every minute I can drilling that instructor, learning that material. So when I come out of there, I'm going to have in my mind, I know exactly what that's for, and use that in my practice all the time. I only do stuff that gives me a positive ROI. You guys know what ROI is? Anyone heard of ROI before? Return on investment. If I spend $1, I want to get $5 back easy. If I do a Facebook ad that costs me $30 a day, I want to get probably at the end of the week, make probably about $700 off of that Facebook ad. Okay? I want to do things that give me a positive income off of that, or even value, whatever the value might be, so that's my benefit. That's going to be the key. Okay. Next one too, we're all students. We're all learning. That's why we're here, right? I'm even learning somewhat. So a lot of it's going to be, how do we learn and use that application, use the material? So what we do now is, how are we going to learn and actually enjoy and use that through what we're doing? I learned by listening to podcasts when I work out, videos when I have time, especially at home, and also books when I read and sometimes fall asleep, as we all do, and also blogs too. I like learning. Part of being as a doctor, as a chiropractor, I'm always educating myself to pay it forward to you guys. Okay, who I teach, whatever it is a range of ages and income and everything else. A lot of it is, how do I learn this to pay it forward? How do you learn now to make your life easier down the line? And you guys have a lot more children than I had when I was a kid, okay, or just in school. So using this information, if you want to become a nurse, how to look up nursing, highest views, whatever it might be, and go, what are they talking about? And how do I trickle down from that video, next one, next one, next one, so I get in my head what do I have to do? Nursing school. There's a lot of people on Instagram and on Facebook, mostly Instagram that I see, that document their journey going through school. Chiropractic school, nursing school, cardiology school, med school, whatever it is. Following their journey gets the mindset of what you need to get through. At that point, get yourself to learn what they learned and not reinvent the wheel. Okay? Understand, then apply to know. Okay? What this means is that I'm not going to go to a seminar one day on say a Tuesday afternoon, June 5th, and go home and like, that was great, and throw all the material away. I'm going to go because I want to learn information, and by applying it, at that point it gets in my head how to use it next time. If I'm just here reading a book and doing something there and not using it in my practice, I'm not reinforcing my mind how it's going to work for me. You have to try something. If I learn how to throw a baseball by reading the whole time, this is how you move your arm, this is how you move your legs, what you think about is what your eyes go to. Without really trying it, it's not in here. I need the motion, I need the movement, I need to learn how to get my body in that position, in that feeling, by doing, not just by reading and learning it. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, next one. And what do you repeat for 4 weeks plus? That's how you form a habit. When I learn something, I do it over and over and over again. And even if I don't like it, I'll try it for 4 weeks. That tells me, okay, do I really like it? Is it going to work for me, or is it not going to work for me? Once I form the habit with my patients, for example, and I have them try to exercise, and start doing some icing, for example, because they're in pain, and I ice things down, what I try to have them do is, okay, do it for a couple days. Just a couple days. Doesn't feel good, going about it. A couple days works, a couple days later, a week goes by. How's that feel? Good, but I forgot yesterday. That's okay. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the most 2 to 3 weeks, they're doing it every day unconsciously without me even asking them. Because it's their habit now, it's their habit, that makes them feel good. And so why it's to their benefit, that's when they want to maintain that every time. Okay? Next part, building your reputation by your character. Do you know what that means, character versus reputation, the difference? Good, okay. So character is how you act behind closed doors. Do you actually study for your test? Do you actually do things that are beneficial, or you just talk about it, where you get the result of passing the test by cheating, for example, in school? Okay, so the result is the end part. Reputation is, hey, they are a good student because they get good grades. Character is because they actually do the work. That make sense? Okay, if you have a good reputation, that means people think you're a good person. The character is who you know you are. I went to school, chiropractic school, for example. People that went in with, for example, poor character went just to make money. They didn't care how to make it. I want to become a doctor. I didn't pass my med board, so I'm going to go here and do this instead. So what we do is go, okay, if someone's in like that, they come out, they're going to get a job that may not be ethical for 1-2, and not hurt people, but just take their money. Versus if you go with a good character, okay, I'm here to help people, you're going to learn from people that want to help you. You're going to work with people in practice that want to help you. You're going to actually have a long-standing practice, not burn out, and help people so overall you have a good long-term reputation. People come to my office not because I'm the best chiropractor, because they've heard a lot about me from everyone else. We have all 5-star Google reviews, Google, Yelp reviews, every review's out there. I always have 5 stars because I know where they all live. They're all my patients. I'll find that they don't actually give me a 5-star review. So my job is to make sure I maintain that reputation by allowing my patients to see me in practice, like you've seen in the video, and help people every day. That's my plan. Anybody know what PMA stands for? PMA. Positive mental attitude. Okay. We need this to do what we have to do, stay motivated, do our habits, keep ourselves motivated for 1-2. That's when we're going to do the right thing to make ourselves healthy and help ourselves and other people around us. Okay? What I do myself, I write goals, and what I do is make goals that talk about enjoy or things like that allow my mind to, when I write down, at that point, think that and act that way every day. So I have daily, I have weekly, I have monthly goals, I have yearly goals. I have a 5-year goal and a 10-year goal. What I want to do personally and in my business. By writing things down, and this more my generation too, there's a magic between the pen and your finger. At that point you're seeing it too, how that goes into your subconscious mind. And over time become real because you're going to make it real. You're going to think that way, so your overall body changes the way you act to perceive and have people around you give you the goals that you want to get. Does that kind of make sense? Okay? But it's doing it consistently. Again, 4+ weeks. When we do it consistently, we see that overall benefit. Okay? And again, it's not about you stalling. It's also people around you. So my goals are not going back to grow, connect, and lead. My goals used to be, I want this. I want to have this. I want to enjoy this. Now it's about we as a team, we as a family, we as a group, we as my friends, we're going to enjoy this. So I changed my mentality, not probably a few years ago, as a group, how as a team we're going to work together to make sure we all get the same goal and move things forward. Okay? Again, mindset, perception. How do you perceive things? Do you have a mindset of greed or gratefulness? Or more selfishness, or giving stuff away, giving your time away, giving away your overall knowledge away too? Here also, act to help and lift up others. That's the key. When I deal with people around me, a lot of it is how do we serve more people? How do we serve others, maybe with their time or talents, me as a chiropractor, or even as a student, how do you help another student that's maybe struggling in your subject and help them move forward, because that helps you learn also. Okay? So how do you help others? How do you lift them up to make them better? How do you lead them in the right direction? You can't give them everything. How do you lead them and tell them, hey, I did this before, try it this way. How about work on this, this, and this? That's the best way for you, not for them to help out, but also for you to help them out so you understand the material even better. Next page. Here's a good one too. If you're in school, this is your focus right now. How much knowledge can I get to pass the boards, pass the exams, get through school, do well in school? At that point, I can come out and as an intern or volunteer, gain the experience. When you're a good student, for example, or a hard worker, do more opportunities open up for you? Yes, that's universal law. Okay? When you're out of school, you gain experiences, good and bad, to make you form how you want to practice, how you want to help others, how you want to help your own family sometimes too, as you get older and have family or kids or other families. Okay? And again, talk about experience being good and bad. It's practice. I have interns come to my office every semester, and they come in very timid. They don't want to make a mistake. I go, your job here is to make mistakes. I'm not going to let you do anything you can to hurt someone, but I'm giving enough room, wiggle room to go, okay, how do I let them run an x-ray? Doesn't turn out? We're not doing it. If they file wrong, great, we know what they filed, what files they use, go back and make sure they file properly. Do a therapy and something doesn't turn out well, let's see how they did it wrong and go back to something else. So how do we move forward and learn by our mistakes as well as our good results to understand how do we become better practitioners of what we want to do. Okay? Part of it too is really your internship, volunteering, your work allows you to gain the experience. So overall you understand how does this work. And by doing it from a third person point of view like that, you're not all accountable. So you actually understand the material better sometimes. So you're not the number one person they're looking for to be responsible. Does that make sense? As a doctor, the intern may run a bad x-ray. If we take the x-ray again, it's my concern. So hey, look, I took a bad x-ray. At that point's run one more time. Not a problem, easy. Okay. So my job is let them learn as a volunteer, as internship, even working too, so they gain the experience. So as a business owner, as a leader of my interns, for example, even my patients, I let them make mistakes to learn that way. By the time an intern leaves about probably 3-4 months later, they've gained the confidence and self-esteem to become a better practitioner and understanding mistakes as part of the process. So you go from come in timid usually, they leave more self-confident, more self-esteem. Anyone in work, in school, if you can gain that alone, you've done very, very well. At that point, as a leader, as a manager, as a business owner, as a director, you have to have that trickle down to your people that are your employees or the people in your school. Understand that only helps everybody lift up the overall business or school or education. okay? Or, talked about initially, is caring for our patients better too if we're going to healthcare, okay? How do we volunteer interning? How it can help you, okay? Number one thing is, first of all, is find somewhere to volunteer and intern, okay? Like some people do, they reach out and go, I'm in high school, I have no expenses, I don't need much. At that point, I can spend time, either in school or outside of school, to actually go and learn something, okay? Not mess around all the time. My job, when I have someone come to my office and become an intern and volunteer, I want them initially to have at least good grades. That tells me that they've done enough to work hard there, to work hard here also, not going to mess around, okay? If I'm going to hire someone in my office, I'll see the previous work ethic and what they've done, where they've worked, and how long they worked there, to realize, do they have that ability to get in my office and work harder and relearn things? And when I'm not watching them, does their reputation match their character where they'll do work on their own without me having to watch over them all the time? So my job is to make sure when I do this is I want them to find out a way to ask me, how can I do more and more and more? And when they're in my office, I want them to understand that basically just work and gain my trust. If you're going to enter my office or somewhere else, at that point, they want to see your results. Can you do the work they're asking you to do without complaining, without showing up late, without, if you want to call it, there's a dress code at your business too, working within that norm so they don't become, call it a headache, but work to be there. I enjoy my interns. I love them because they come in and help me out. But I set a standard that they either told once, maybe twice. If not, I said it's not going to work out for me. So I want a certain standard they have, so when they come in, they can actually do that and gain my trust. It may take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a couple days. But it doesn't matter. When you're going into somewhere to volunteer, you have to give a long-term perspective because you want something out of it too, right? You're there not just to help them out, you want something out of it. How do I make sure I gain their trust by doing the work I want to do? But by doing that, realize that helps you long-term. When you volunteer and understand the back end of how these programs, here's this one too, helps other students and people in the workplace, you get the bigger passion to maintain that in whatever you want to do down the line. So my interns sometimes work at McDonald's, Chipotle, Vons. I go, phenomenal, yes. They're going to learn good work ethic because they have to keep moving and moving and moving. At that point, get paid very little to be there, but they're learning good work ethic that carries their schooling and life overall. Okay, any questions about that? So anytime you can find a job, paid or not paid, allows you to learn that work ethic and make your mind and body strong for the next thing you want to do. Okay. Here too, volunteering, interning, and who are your mentors? That's a lot different. Mentors are people here is where you work, this is where you work. Mentors can be at where you work too, or somewhere else. These people help guide you to make your life easier from a, if you want to call it a work environment, but also environment too. How do I get through this class? How do I do this? How do I make my life easier? By having mentors to help you and hopefully help them too understand how to find what you want to get and ease your path versus sometimes a hard path can be high risk. Okay? I decided to work after chiropractic school as an associate, as an employee for the chiropractor, because I saw him as a mentor. He knew a lot, he had good results with his patients, and he was able to teach me what he learned. So even though I was paid pretty good, and commission based on who I saw too, a lot of it was, what can I learn from him to make my life easier in practice? Again, going back to before, he had the experience, right? I had the knowledge. Using his experience, made my years of learning a lot faster. Someone who came out of practice, started doing practice on their own, and learned as they went. I used his mistakes or what he had done right as a way to make sure my life didn't have to go through all that struggles. Okay, so by having someone like that who can be a mentor to you, pick their brain. Make sure you use them for all they can. And the biggest thing you can do for a mentor, which is, again, don't tell anyone, take them to lunch. Buy them a nice lunch. Spend $20. At that point, you'll have a whole hour with them because a lot of you exchange. If you bought them lunch, they sit there and you listen and answer your questions. At that point, they'll be more than willing because you're feeding them. All right, that's the key. Food's phenomenal. We always want to eat. Okay, and again, help them first. Go to a mentor and go, hey, I know you need help with this, this, and this. Can I help you with that? And I'm going to go, what are you charging? What do you want from me? I just want your time. Fantastic. I had lunch with Dr. Jason yesterday. Monday, talked about podcasting, about putting videos out, helping build other practice up. I'm doing a luncheon tomorrow with another guy who runs a carpet cleaning business. He does very well at that, but he wants to do podcasting also. Let's go have lunch. So a lot of it is people will pick your brain once you get to a certain level of how you've done it right, because they want to make their life easy. It took me months to figure this stuff out. So I want to give them an easier way to do it. At that point, their life easier, and we all benefit. I want to see them succeed also in their field. Okay? Who are mentors? Face-to-face, people you may know. People on YouTube, podcasts, books. These are your virtual mentors. Okay? People you can listen to all the time. Go, how do you find out what they're saying? And at that point, use that information for what you need in your own life. When I listen to an hour of a podcast, maybe an hour of a YouTube video, even read a book too, I'm expecting to get about 10% of the information I can actually use. Okay? So when you have expectation, you go to school, read a book, you go through a class, expectation for me is going to be how to use that 1 hour and maybe get about 5-6 minutes of what I can actually use in my life to make my practice, my family, my personal life better. So I have to listen to get a full hour, I have to listen to, I'm not a mathematician again, about probably 60 hours to get a full hour of a podcast or YouTube channel to get that overall hour of benefit. That's a lot of hours. But is it worth it? Yes. I break it down to chunks. I listen to probably 3 podcasts a week, an hour each, maybe even more actually. I have my own out there too. But something that's holding my ear. Podcast rate, because podcasts, unlike YouTube channels or videos, you can drive and listen to podcasts. You can drive and watch videos too, but it's scary. I can see people like this. That's not safe. Okay? So making your life easy, this allows you to do that. And again, it might be more, different generations have that, but this allows you to get information for any category you want and learn it when you're on the road, in the car, even at home, just hanging out. Okay? Sometimes you multitask. My wife doesn't like it when I have my earbud and listening to this. As she's talking to me, sometimes she'll say something weird. She goes, what do you say? And she'll realize I was listening to her sometimes. Sometimes I'm not. But it's a different story. Okay. Face-to-face mention, talked about that. Take some to lunch. Enjoy some time with them too. Okay. They make you more accountable. If I'm a mentor to someone, I'm going to go, hey, look, by next week, I want to call this person because they have an offer for you that helps you out. Are you okay with that? Yes. And I'm going to put in my head, maybe on paper, I want to call them before, hey, look, how'd that go? Like, oh, yeah, call them today. Tell you about it tomorrow. When you're a mentor, you're responsible to go back and go, how am I helping them account for what they want? Because once they're accountable and see the results, go, oh, that's how it works. It motivates them. Once they get the connection, my mentor's helping me become, I want to do more and more and more, ask more questions, follow through what they want to do. That's when it's the benefit. I had one, I call him a kid, he's in his late 20s, and he's a buddy, someone I found on LinkedIn, who's had a job offer to sell a private chiropractic practice because the chiropractor is retiring. I said, hey, call him. He's looking for just get information from him, just figure out how things work. So he goes, no problem at all. The problem, take him a couple days later, like, do you call him? I was like, not yet. I said, well, call him, screenshot me the email so I see that you did that. He goes, okay. Hour later, done. Took him 2 days to do it, but I said, once you do that, I'm going to know we're on track. If not, I'm not going to waste any time with that. Okay? Being professional. Everyone's looking. Does that make sense? Is that hard to read? That's proper punctuation too, right? Good enough? Okay. So a lot of it is, we want to look. If you want someone to say, hey, you look like a fireman. Do you dress like a fireman? Probably. Hey, you're a policeman, right? I can dress like a policeman, yes. But if I'm just like I don't say a bum, but someone who doesn't look respected or respects themselves, why should I respect you? If you're not going to take care of yourself, at that point, I'm not going to worry about what's going on with you. So when someone comes to my office and they go, and they don't have proper hygiene, or they look like they're a mess all the time, I go, what's going on? Why are you like this? This is how I dress. Like, not in my office. Some people like to smoke a lot. Now, when you come to my office, I have kids in here. I have older parents, family. I need you to come in and respect my office because this is where I work. This is where I live most of the day. So, and they get that because what they understand is that by doing that type of perception, you're getting more respect from other people too. I could come in here with a Hawaiian shirt, right, and shorts and flip-flops. Would you think I'm a chiropractor or a doctor? I'm not. I go, who's that clown over there? Magic. But we want to have that perception because everyone's looking. If I want someone to come to my office and respect me as a chiropractor, as a possible chiropractor down the line, I want to look like I should be their doctor. Okay? So I always wear a shirt, mostly a tie. Sometimes I'm running around, so it's hard to tie on sometimes. But overall, I want to have the professional. That's my job. Okay? Look and act in person and online. So when I do my videos like this one here, videos in the office or videos, even actually videos too, I always try to look as professional as possible. Sometimes, like my podcast interviews, because I do mine as video too, I'll wear a collared shirt, a short sleeve collared shirt instead of a long sleeve. It's a little bit more casual, business casual. But overall, you have to look the part. It doesn't matter where you are. Okay. So again, that goes back to your social media stuff. If you're doctor all day Monday through Friday, then all of a sudden you're out at the beach, whatever it is, and doing dumb stuff, at that point it ruins your reputation and shows your true character. Okay, any questions about that? I do this all the time when we do talks with different nonprofits and I go to their meetings. A lot of it is understanding with students or even professionals too. Nurses are big on this too, where they think when they leave the office and their social media is on now, what they don't understand, their bosses still see that stuff. They see exactly what you're going through. Yes?
As an employer or someone that takes in interns, before you take them in, do you look at social media?
Nope, I wait till afterwards.
Okay.
Give them about 2 weeks, because they can clean everything up they want. I give them 2 weeks to feel comfortable with me in the office, then I want to see how they're really acting once they're comfortable. And then I won't go on there myself. Again, my secret, I'll have my staff go on there. She's younger, she's the one, but I try not to contact my interns directly. I have a barrier with my staff. She calls them, hey, come in today. Can you come in an extra hour today? We need a little bit longer. So she sees their stuff. At that point, I see their stuff. But and right now, these days, completely legal, completely everything. So if you're in school messing around, you're looking for a job online, someone goes to social media and follows you, they see you're like, oh, that's who they are. Take a resume, rip it up, throw it in the trash. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Huge. And a couple more minutes left. Millennial generations, anyone under 25-ish? Millennial generation? Millennial, everyone, right? Not me, I'm like dinosaur generation, I think, dinosaur. But a lot of it is, you guys have the advantage. I went to a big talk for all the RPs in the area in London Empire. You guys know how to communicate online, use apps, use a new app, and use the other new app to communicate online, learn programs. I didn't know how to connect that computer to this. I don't know what was going on. I have no idea. A lot of it is when you know that technology, you become asked any business to run their front office because programs are always changing. Mac to Windows, Windows to Mac, whatever it is, a new billing program for one too. These are always changing, so why not go in there as someone who knows that stuff to get your foot in the door? I was talking to one lady, she wanted to become a nurse, worked as a volunteer, and she says, I do not want to deal with blood, patients is nothing. She liked healthcare. She learned the back end of technology, a little bit younger than some people that work at the hospital, and she became one of the directors of that hospital. Because she learned the back end, she was able to run the programs, and kept learning the new thing. So you guys, because already that's just part of your life, at that point, that's your advantage. What's the next part? So don't think because you're millennials, every generation above you will always like put you down. Even when people above me, like, what's your problem? But at that point, realize that's your advantage. Just stay quiet and go, we'll take over all the old people. That's what I would do. Okay. Us old people, there's only me, I think, in the room. A lot of it is keep learning. I use Instagram. I use all my Facebook pages too, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google, all the ones, and all that stuff too. And I learn from young generation because they do it right. They have the attention. A lot of it is too when you get good results, long term, look for quality over quantity. People that do well in business long term, they worry about their patients, they care about their patients. Long term, they worry about who they're seeing along with seeing more people. Okay, so I worry about my quality care. I may see someone once, but I want a raving review from them saying like, hey, I had the best experience ever. because I want to make sure that pay it forward to the next person, next person, next person. In business, in work, and everything you do, the biggest thing you get is a personal referral, like a reference. That's someone else telling you that you're doing a good job. You want that. I can say all day long, I'm the best chiropractor in the world, but when someone else says it, they go, oh, that must be true then. That guy can be the sham if he needs to be. Keep going. All right. Well, this is 10 minutes until question Q&A, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. Do you have good results? We talked about that. Show that you care. I don't care if you're in healthcare, in school, or working. How do you show someone you care? I buy my staff probably once a month Starbucks just because it's a Starbucks day. I like the app points too. I like app points because I get like free Starbucks every month. But a lot of it is I buy stuff that shows that they like coffee. I want them to like coffee. I care about what they drink. I buy them Starbucks. I call my patients back. I saw 4 new patients yesterday. I called everyone back today. I think 3 of them called me back, 1 texted me. Hey, thanks for calling. Most doctors don't. You're a file to them. Okay, I want to show I care in healthcare, hint the topic of today. Okay? How do we do that? By doing the extra thing people don't expect. Okay? Also, like I said a second ago, beat their expectation. People come in like, I didn't realize I wanted you to take an x-ray and show the x-ray the same day. I'm like, yes, I can. I realize you can explain what you're doing in your videos of how it helps my neck pain. Yes, we do. Can you send me what this video, I had someone on my Facebook ad send a message, can you send me a video on neck pain recovery? Within a minute, I was like, here's a video, like, are you serious? I do that. So I have videos lined up, so I put them on YouTube, I load them right there, ready to go. So I'm on it to make sure every patient has my cell phone number. No one calls me though, if I don't like me. But a lot of it is, I give my number, and part of it is, I want them to be able to reach me all the time. There's a reverse psychology in that. They're going to call you unless they really need you. I feel a comment on a holiday weekend. I had someone call me from Puerto Vallarta. He had flown down with his wife on vacation. She hurt her back. Because we're flying back tonight on our jet. Can you see us on Monday? I'm like, I can't see Monday because today's Saturday. Can I see you tonight instead? They go, are you serious? They flew in that night from Ontario. I saw them that night, and they said, I can't believe you saw us on Saturday night. I didn't have I had a collared shirt on and long pants on, but I didn't have the full doctor thing on, you know? But how do you make them feel like you care because you really should care? Working with a team. Okay, we talked that a minute ago. My goals are now we are going to do well. We're going to do this. We're going to do this as a group, as an office, as me and my partner, as me and my staff, not my goals. That allows the team to benefit, and the team work, and that allows them to be accountable for your overall work. I don't like to do all the work all the time. I have my staff, hey, can you run this email? Can you throw this newsletter up? Can you do this? That point takes pressure off of me. That point, we as a team benefit, we as a team do the work too at the same time. You spread the work out. Okay? As I said, it was we, not me. Okay, students and professionals, how do you connect and network now? Let's go a little bit higher. We talked about grow, make your mindset, make your attitude, make your workload grow. Okay? We connect. Good, right. Let's go a little bit lower, maybe. You skip a little bit over here right there. You're probably pretty good. It's probably me. Okay.
Watch out.
Oh, sorry. When you're in. Okay. Drop it down just a little bit more. Other side? Got it. I'm in the way from everything. Like in high school again, just in the way. Okay. So a lot of it is when we connect, how do we make sure we're doing things to help other people? What I mean by that, if I'm a mentor, how do I make my mentees accountable? If I'm a volunteer, how do I make sure I'm doing enough of my work to make sure I'm getting the best benefit from them by giving the best trust also? Having patience. If I'm volunteering somewhere or working somewhere for a month, is that enough to show I'm a good person, I can be trusted? What do you think? Is a month good enough time? It's not up to you. It's up to the boss, whoever that is. So it might be 2 months, it might be 3 months. But have a good realistic expectation of how you're going to be successful there. Okay? A lot of it is when I do something different in my office, I want about 3 months results to see actually an overall benefit. Is what I'm doing differently working? Maybe my personal life, my business, whatever it is too. If I'm reading a book, using their material, is it working? Once you've done that for a while and you've become enough experience, for example, lead others by being the example. Okay? Once you've done that, mentors lead from the front. I only tell people to do stuff that I've done myself. So I want them to see that. At that point, I have the results. Now follow me. Let's go a little bit higher. You know who this guy is?
Gandhi.
You guys want to make sure you guys knew who he was. Okay. He says the sign of a good leader is not how many followers he has, but how many leaders he creates. Who has a lot of followers on Instagram? I have I think 1,500, not a lot. Like maybe 2,000, I don't know. But I don't care about that. Who can I mentor to make them a chiropractor, a better business person, a better student, someone who wanted to become a medical assistant, now a nurse, someone who thought about working as an employee, now a business owner. I want those people. At that point, that's how I know I'm doing a good job. Okay? A little higher. Again, leaders find other leaders to lead and become mentors. Okay? I want to pay it forward. I want people to mentor because I've taught them how to do it properly. Okay? At that point, they see the benefit, they pay it forward. That's why we volunteer, that's why we do things like this. Get the next person, next generation, next person lead what you're doing. A little higher. The very end, more. That's it? That's it, seriously. Oh, that's sad. Okay. I had my information on there too, but that's it. Cool. Any questions?